coming to a sunrise. So what my eyes, that moment I visualize is coming. If you could see me now, see I'm gonna break through the life I knew. Been waiting, a dream come true. Still aiming. If you could see me now, if you could see me now.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can tell from the title, I'm kind of breaking my rotation where I've been alternating between Overdress and Yu-Gi-Oh! And we're doing a second week of Overdress. I wasn't going to do this, I was going to wait till next week, but some cards got announced, so we got some news, and so much stuff happened over this last week that got me really excited for the game, and I had to jump on it as soon as I could. We have a lot to talk about, and as I did last week, I'll have timestamps in the description if you guys want to jump ahead. We're going to cover some news, then we're going to talk about some cards from Dark States, Dragon Empire, and Brandt Gate that came out, and stuff's getting crazy. Stuff's getting crazy. Anyway, let's jump into it. Up first on some news, all my anime fans out there, the anime actually premiered, you guys will see this Friday, so 2 days ago, it was Wednesday evening, they actually premiered the first episode of the anime on YouTube. Unfortunately, if you weren't watching it then, you kind of got to wait till the following week. It will actually be available on April 2nd on Anime Lab and on April 3rd on Anime Plus. That's Friday and Saturday. All I've heard so far is that the animation looks really crisp, really clean, and I'm already excited to check it out. Now, another piece of news we got that's really interesting. We got a little bit of an announcement about Set 2. So Set 2 is going on sale in Japan on June 26th. And we also got a little bit of terminology. So the ride decks that we've been, kind of formulating with the sets of cards that they've given us are actually called ride lines. And according to the information we got about Set 2, it is going to contain support for not only the trial deck ride lines, the Set 1 ride lines, as well as introduce 2 new ride lines for each nation. So we're going to be able to mix match all kinds of crazy decks. What's cool about it is, even in this Set 1, we'll see once we get into the Dark States cards, is they are supporting the new ride lines that they've revealed to us already in the last couple of weeks, as well as the start deck stuff. We're starting to see some of the start deck specific support and some generic support that they can be mixed in too. So it's going to make deck building really interesting. But onto the cards, let's talk about Dark States. So Dark States already got their new ride line announced, along with some support cards for it. But now we've got our first set of cards where it's specifically meant to help Final Rush, meant to help the Diablos package. The first card we got is Protobulb Dragon. It's a grade 1 normal unit, 8k power, 5k shield. And its skill is Auto Rearguard Circle. When this unit attacks or boosts, if you are in Final Rush, cost Counterblast 1, put another Rearguard into your soul, choose a card from your soul, and put it into your hand. This is pretty cool because it lets you use up, those back row Rearguards that you've already used, because Final Rush only lets you restand the front row, to get another card from your hand. And since they do a lot of random soul charges, you can get anything back. You can get triggers for shield, perfect guards, rear guards that you want to play the next turn. Basically turning your soul into a, let me fetch a card. The only thing I don't like about this card is that it says you have to put another rear guard into the soul, so you can never do it on this grade 1. Now, on to the next one. Diablos Boys Eden. Grade 2, normal unit, 10k power, 5k shield. This card, I kind of like. Continuous Rearguard Circle. If you are in Final Rush, this unit gets power plus 5,000. When this unit stands this turn by a card effect, it gets critical plus 1. That's the whole point of what Diablos does. So Diablos is going to give it power, restand it, and it's just going to gain an additional crit just for doing what the deck's supposed to do. And then it has an auto Rearguard Circle. When this unit attack hits, cost Counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's Rearguards and retire it. So not only does it already have on-hit pressure, when it restands, it's going to have an extra crit. That's an absolute solid card for Final Rush. Now, the third card they got is a grade 3, and it's nice to see that they actually gave a support grade 3 for Final Rush. Granted, you don't want to ride this thing. if you can avoid it. So it's called Upward Acrobat Marjorie. I hope I said that right. It's a grade 3 normal unit with 13k power, obviously 0 shield, and it does have the Persona Ride marker. So at least that's okay. But its skill is only on the rear guard. It's auto rear guard circle once per turn. When this unit attacks, if you are in Final Rush, cost, put one of your other rear guards to the soul, draw a card, soul charge 1, and this unit gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn. This thing does everything you want in a rear guard support card. It gets, like I said, it uses your back row because you're not going to be able to reuse your back row because Final Rush only restands your front row. It gets you a draw, a soul charge, and it powers itself up. And it powers itself up until end of turn, so you can use this on effect on the first swing, and then it restands and it still retains that plus 10k power. So it's really, really solid. Now, outside of Final Rush, we got one more card to talk about. Normally, I go in order by grade, but this one I wanted to save till the end, because this is a grade 0. That's right, we got the skill for the Dark States Overtrigger. Hades, Dragon, Deity of Resentment, Galmageheld. I think I said that right. Obviously, this is their grade 0 Overtrigger. For anybody who just stumbled upon this video, Overtrigger is the new thing they've added in. It is a trigger that gives 100 million power to whatever unit you want to give the power to once you trigger it. It has a 50,000 shield if you don't trigger it and it's in your hand. If you damage trigger it or drive trigger it, the card immediately binds itself. You draw a card and you get to dish out the power. But if it's a drive check, you get an additional skill. And we have been waiting on the additional skills for some of the other Overtriggers. We already got the Dragon Empire when it restands the Vanguard, which is already really powerful. This one, on the other hand, you get, during your turn, all of your Vanguards get plus 10,000, plus 1 critical. Not bad, not bad. Until the end of this fight. So from whenever you trigger this card, your Vanguard now gains an additional 10k in crit during every single one of your turns for doing absolutely nothing. The thing about this one is, the earlier you trigger this, the more powerful it is. If you hit this on turn 1, and you're swinging for crits every single turn for doing absolutely nothing, not to mention there's already, Vanguards that gain additional crits, that's just silly. In the super late game, when your opponent's already at 5 damage, it doesn't really help too much. But in the early to mid game, this thing is stupid. Stupid. Let me know what you guys think about the Dark States cards. Let me know in the comments. But now we're going to move on to Dragon Empire. And this is what made me want to do this video in the first place. You guys know I'm going to be a Dragon Empire player. And while I've been kind of meh about the Overdress stuff, because we haven't seen any new support yet, we finally got Dragon Empire's other ride line, and your boy is liking it. So, this ride line and the ride line we got for Brandt Gate both have new grade 0s, but they're interchangeable with the old grade 0s, so I'm just going to skip them. All the grade 0s have the same effect. If you went second and rode on top, you get the draw card. But, Dragon Empire's grade 1, Gunning Duststorm Nigel. This is a grade 1 gnome unit, 8k power, 5k shield. Standard grade 1 stats. Its skill, though, when this unit is rode upon by Cataclysmic Bullet of Duststorm Randor, grade 2, you can soul charge 1. You'll see why that's good in a minute. And then auto rearguard circle when your opponent's rearguard is retired during your main phase, cost counterblast 1, retire this unit, choose one of your opponent's rearguard to retire it. So basically it turns any retirement skill that you use into a retire 2. Pretty cheap. Counterblast 1 to retire it. Not that big a deal because this version of the deck doesn't have a whole lot of counterblasts. On to the grade 2. Cataclysmic Bullet of Duststorm Randor. Cataclysmic. Grade 2 normal unit, 10k power, 5k shield. When this unit is rode upon by heavy artillery of Duststorm Eugene, draw a card, choose one card from your drop zone, put it to your soul. More soul charge. And you get to draw. I love drawing cards. Auto, Vanguard, and Rear Guard. When this unit attacks, if your opponent has 2 or less rear guards, cost Counterblast 1, Soul Charge 1, and this unit gains plus 5,000 power until the end of that battle. So it's got the Vanguard skill and the Rear Guard skill. The reason this is good is because not only does it gain the 5,000 power to help you hit numbers, it helps you Soul Charge to continually build up for the Grade 3, because the Grade 3 has a really, really heavy Soul Blast cost. This does have a Counterblast cost, which isn't that big of a deal, but the fact that it's Vanguard Rear Guard means that when you ride the turn you ride it, you can still use this skill to get an extra Soul Charge. Now on to the Grade 3. Heavy Artillery of Duststorm Eugene. Grade 3, normal unit, 13k power, 0 shield, and it does have a Persona Ride marker. Act Vanguard Circle once per turn. Cost, rest 2 rear guards. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it, and this unit gains plus 10,000 power until end of turn. So, for no cost, no Counterblast cost, no Soul Blast cost, you have to give up 2 rear guards by resting them. You can retire any of your opponent's rear guards, regardless of grade, regardless of power. Okay, not bad. Combine that with the Grade 1 and for a Counterblast 1. You can actually tap the Grade 1, pop a rear guard, Counterblast 1, get rid of the rear guard you just popped, pop another rear guard. Not bad. Now here's why we need the soul for it. Act Vanguard Circle once per turn. If your opponent's rear guard was retired this turn, cost Soul Blast 5. Look at the same number of cards from the top of your deck as the number of your opponent's open rear guard circles. Choose any number of unit cards from among them, call them to rear guard circle, and put the rest into your soul. So, you retire your opponent's board, you could potentially get a plus 5 off this card. I know nobody wants to call triggers, but they're going to go to the soul anyway. You can at least still get them as boosters. There's your Grade 1s, your Grade 2s. The only card you can't call out, obviously, are the orders. They would go directly to your soul, which would still fuel you to do this effect again. Like, just off riding, you've got your 0, your 1, your 2. If you want to use this on your first turn, you would need to you get a soul charge off the Grade 1, you get a soul charge off the Grade 2. You can do this on your first Grade 3 ride, so you don't have to waste a Grade 3 ride like you kind of have to do with Diablos. And if you do use the Grade 2 skill, you will already have an extra card in the soul, plus whatever card you don't call off the top, go into the soul. So it's actually pretty cool the way it can keep on cycling itself. And they don't have to be open rear guard circles, so the 2 units that you rested to pop your opponent's card can now be called over so you don't lose out on any attacks. I love it. It gives me... I love the retire skill because that's one of the reasons I played Kagero back in the old format. I love being able to mess with my opponent's board while still applying pressure. Calling 5 dudes off the top. It's funny because my third favorite deck was actually Go Paladins, so that's kind of Go Paladin-esque, and I kind of like it. So I'm probably going to be playing this ride line, especially since if we see more support that goes along with it. Because in reality, we've only seen like a few cards that go along with this specific ride line. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm a fan, and I can't wait to actually take this, put it together, and test it out.
Here comes a new challenger!
Hey guys, sorry real quick, if you can't tell by my different ensemble, this is actually after recording that video. This is actually a whole day after. But some of the things I addressed in this video actually got addressed the very next day, and I wanted to let you guys know before I actually posted this video. We got 3 more cards to add on to Dragon Empire real quick, and they made me even more excited because they're exactly what I was hoping for. So we got 2 cards that are actually support for Overdress. We got a new kind of Verena. This is Verena Arcus. Grade 2, normal unit, 10,000 power, 5k shield. This also has the Overdress mechanic for going on top of Trickstar. Auto, when this unit is placed on rear guard, if it is in Overdress state, cost Counterblast 1, draw 2 cards, and it gets 5,000 power to end of turn. So it doesn't have the big power boost that the regular Verena does, or the retire skill, but you get to draw cards. And 2 cards for a Counterblast 1 is bonkers. Especially in a control-heavy deck like Dragon Empire. We also got a support Grade 3. Stealth Dragon Hado Shugen. I actually think I pronounced that right. Grade 3, normal unit, 13k power, no shield. It does have the Persona Ride marker, but it is specifically a rearguard grade 3. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you have a unit that is in the Overdress state, cost, counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. Another retire skill for the low costing Overdress deck, which is dope because I think there's only 3 cards that that deck has right now that counterblasts. So I think that's an awesome add for a rearguard skill. And my prayers have been answered by this card called Burn Bright Pure Prayers. This is a grade 2 blitz order for Dragon Empire. If your damage zone has 3 or more cards in it, choose one of your units and it gets plus 15,000 power until the end of that battle. We got a defensive mechanic. You guys will hear me in the rest of this video talking about how that's all that this game needs, and they are giving us more defensive mechanics. I'm hyped. As you can tell, I'm more hyped for Overdress than even in the rest of this video. But I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you guys get on with the rest of the regular schedule programming. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Now, on to the Mac Daddy. Back to Brandt Gate. Brandt Gate already had the coolest mechanic with their prison, but now we've got a whole new style. This, I believe, is an antagonist player's deck. First off, we're going to talk about the card art. These cards look sick nasty. You guys are going to see, I'm going to post them all up as we go through them, but they are crazy cool. I didn't know the name of it before, but I do now. We actually have 3 different kinds of order cards. We have the normal orders, which you play during your main phase. The blitz orders, which we play during your guard step when your opponent is attacking you. And the set orders. The prison for Brandt Gate is a set order. This ride line right here is very dependent on their set orders. They have their own. We're actually going to cover them first so you guys can see kind of what they do as we go into the actual ride line. So the first card we're going to talk about is Howling Moonlit Night. It's a grade 2 set order. Set orders, after you play them, they go into your order zone and they basically stay on the field. Play this with a cost of a Soul Blast 1. When you play this card, it's put into your order zone and you get to draw a card. So a 1-for-1s. Here's its continuous effect. Doesn't really do anything, but it kind of does. So, continuous order zone. If your order zone has only world cards, which are the 2 orders we're going to be talking about, the following effects are active according to the number of cards in your order zone. 1 card, your world becomes Dark Knight. 2 or more cards, your world becomes Abyssal Dark Knight. Those are conditions that have to go with the actual units. We'll get there in a second. The other order we have is In Darkness, Nobody Knows. It is a grade 3 set order. When you play this, we play this with a cost of a Soul Blast 1. When this card is put into the order zone, choose one of your opponent's front or rear guards and retire it. Get another 1-for-1. And then this one also has the same effect. Continuous order zone. If your order zone has only world cards, the following effects are active according to the number of cards in your order zone. 1 card, your world becomes Dark Knight. 2 or more cards, your world becomes Abyssal Dark Knight. A couple things about this. They don't really do much. They both cost a Soul Blast. 1 draws a card, 1 pops a rear guard. But they are very specific that you can only have world cards. So these cannot be mixed with the jail of the other half of Brandt Gate. So it's a little xenophobic. That being said, let's get into the actual units. Cardinal Noid Rudis, something like that. I hope I said that right. Badu, these guys also, all their names begin with Cardinal, which is pretty cool. Grade 1, normal unit, 8k power, 5k shield. This straight looks like a Link Joker card. Auto. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, search your deck for up to 1 world card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Bam, you just, as soon as you ride over it, you grab the grade 2 order card, you can play at the same turn. Continuous Rearguard Circle. During the battle that this unit attacked or boosted, if your world is Dark Knight or Abyssal Dark Knight, this unit gains plus 2,000 power. Not a big deal, plus 2,000 power. It becomes a 10k booster. Depending on what you combine it with, it could be good. That extra 2k could just get you over a line, but you see what I mean about how the conditions, it activates certain conditions for other cards. You'll see more as we keep going. Cardinal Noid Cubicia. This name is silly. But this is the grade 2. Grade 2 normal unit. 10k power, 5k shield. When a world is put into your order zone, choose one of your units and it gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So, you're obviously going to have this on the Vanguard Circle if it's in your ride deck. You already searched the grade 2 world card, the grade 2 order, when you wrote on top of the grade 1. Now you can play the world card, draw Soul Blast 1, draw a card, give something 5,000 power. Just setting yourself up, and you activate Dark Knight. And then its rearguard skill is continuous rearguard. During your turn, if your world is Abyssal Dark Knight, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. So if you have 2 orders, it's going to have a continuous 5,000 power on every single one of your turns. Not a bad rearguard skill. But now let's talk about their Mac Daddy. Cardinal Dias Orphis. Grade 3, normal unit, 13k power, 0 shield, Persona Ride marker. Continuous Vanguard Rearguard. During your turn, if your world is Dark Knight or Abyssal Dark Knight, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. I like that it's Vanguard Rearguard. So even if you have extra copies and you don't Persona Ride, you can still slap down a big beat stick with at least 18. At Vanguard Circle, if your world is Abyssal Dark Knight, cost Counterblast 2, call up to 3 Shadow Army tokens to the rearguard. Now the Shadow Army tokens are these guys. They are grade 1 tokens with 15k power and boost. 15k, spitting out 3 dudes for a Counterblast 2 without having to use any of your hand is silly. Not to mention with Persona Ride, they'd be 25s. Just for playing the game. Now, how do I feel about these things? Besides the fact that they look cool as shit, I think the idea behind it is also really cool. I wish the orders did a little more while they were continuous, but that's just nitpicky. My only problem with this is I think it's going to be just a little bit less consistent than the jail version, because with the jail version, as soon as you ride grade 1, you get your jail and you play it, and it's there for the rest of the game. You literally don't have to run another copy if you don't want to. Whereas this, not only you do get to search one of them, but you need to run multiple copies of the others, either or, just to be able to make sure you see it. And then if you don't see it, then your grade 3 doesn't even do anything. That's the only problem. It can be a little bit RNG-ish, but it's still a pretty high probability of getting it off. Again, let me know what you guys think of the Brandt Gate cards. Honestly, Overdress is shaping up to be, might actually be the best format of this game. We have some really, really cool combo plays already. We have some really, really cool offensive plays. We have some serious deck customization, which the game hasn't had since its like inception, when you could mix clans way back when. Even though nobody did it, some interactions were really cool. Like, I'm excited. I just need to see a few more defensive options. If we get some really solid defensive options, this game's going to be nuts. But that's it for me, guys. That's everything I had to talk about. If you guys wanted to let me know anything that I might have missed that I didn't see this week, let me know in the comments. Either way, I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. And I will catch you on the next video. Later.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning.